People's rights in opposition rule Kelantan not denied. Sumbangan tunai Rahmah this year, the highest to date. Salam Malaysia Madani, the headlines in a moment, but first, Muslims in the country will celebrate Hari Raya Aidiladha on 29 June. Assistant Secretary to the Conference of Rulers, Muhammad Asar Al-Jusman, made the announcement on national television earlier tonight. Aidiladha is one of two major festivals celebrated by Muslims every year. It falls on the 10th day of Zulhijjah, according to the Hijrah calendar. You're watching Malaysia Tonight with me, Brendan Lepol. Now, the federal government does not deny the people of Kelantan their rights, even though the state is administered by the opposition. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said despite political differences, negotiations and meetings were regularly held with regard to allocations for the state, especially for religious and welfare matters.
Walaupun kita ada sedikit perbezaan pendapat, saya tidak akan menzalimi. Sebab itu saya beritahu Tok Mat, unding molek-molek, semua soal-soal yang boleh kita bincang, selesaikan, kita selesaikan. Soal pilihan raya kita balas sikit, balas. Tetapi jangan membebankan masalah rakyat. Kita luluskan itu sebenarnya. Jumlah peruntukan ke Kelantan itu paling tinggi dalam sejarah, termasuk dalam berbanding dengan tahun-tahun yang lalu. Itu kenyataan dia. Ya.
The Premier noted that the issues of water supply and floods are also given priority because they affect the people, and an allocation of over 103.8 million ringgit has also been given to Imam, Bilal, Siak and religious teachers in the state, including those for kelas agama dan fardu ain, kafa. Datuk Seri Anwar said that in the Madani budget, all projects are continued, including for water catchment, upgrading of the Pak Badul to Melo Road, construction of Palikbang Bridge, and several new projects for Sungai Golok. He said apart from this, aid for Sekolah Agama Rakyat would also be given fairly, regardless of which group they belong to. He was speaking at a ceremony to hand over the Prime Minister's contribution of 7.76 million ringgit for a project to complete the Masjid At-Taqwa, Alopase in Tumpat today. And on another note, Datuk Seri Anwar said the government has agreed to postpone the loan repayment for buyers of an abandoned public servant apartment at Lembah Sireh, Kota Baru. He said the move is to lighten the burden of buyers who have to shoulder the payment via Public Sector Home Financing Board, LPPSA. The Premier said the loan repayment reprieve will go on for the buyers until they are able to occupy their respective houses.
Saya buat keputusan tentang ada rayuan untuk projek perumahan pejabat awam Lembah Sireh Kota Baru ini. Pinjaman dibuat melalui LPPSA. Jadi oleh itu, selagi rumah itu belum diduduki, kita bagi pelepasan moratorium, maknanya tak perlu bayar sekarang dan hanya mula bayar masa dia rumah siap dia masuk rumah. Itu untuk kemudahan.
He made the announcement when speaking at the key handover ceremony for Rumah Mesra Rakyat RMR, built by Syarikat Perumahan Negara Berhad SPNB at Kampung Jaya, Pasir Hor today. Also present was SPNB Chairman Datuk Husam Musa. Meanwhile, Datuk Husam said SPNB will be building 3,545 units of RMR this year. He said a total of 2,558 units of RMR are under construction, while 987 RMR units have been completed. The Premier also announced an additional allocation of 500 million ringgit to resolve the water supply issue in Kelantan, which has been beset by lack of clean water. He said the latest allocation was the result of discussions between the federal and Kelantan state governments earlier.
Hari ini saya umumkan untuk air bersih, walaupun peruntukan kita bagi 1.7 bilion, untuk Kelantan segera saya lulus 500 juta ringgit. Tapi harus ikut saluran kerjasama yang baik.
The Premier said when the discussion took place with Kelantan government on ways to overcome the problem of lack of clean water, the requested allocation was too high. Instead, Datuk Sri Anwar suggested for a project to be started and it should be jointly undertaken and managed according to the proper channels. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi had previously announced that the government was providing a 1 billion ringgit allocation to Kelantan to overcome the state's water supply problems beginning this year. The cash contribution of Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah STR for this year is the largest donation amounting to 2,500 ringgit per recipient. It involves a total amount of 2.14 billion ringgit, benefiting 8.4 million recipients. Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Sri Ahmad Mazlan said that applicants need to update their information at the counter of the Inland Revenue Board LHDN or via its website. Meanwhile, for rejected applications, appeals can be submitted starting from 1st July.
Terima, Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah, fasa 3, 8.4 juta orang dengan jumlah 2.14 bilion ringgit. Jadi kerajaan berharap dengan adanya sumbangan tunai rahmah yang akan dikeluarkan dan diberikan sebelum Hari Raya Haji ini, kita akan dapat membantu menggembirakan sikit sebanyak tambahan kepada rakyat.
He said this to reporters after visiting the Bank Simpanan Nasional building in Johor Bahru today. A total of 1.6 billion ringgit has been dispersed to 72,000 customers through the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Financing MSME by Bank Simpanan Nasional BSN since 2020. Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Mazlan stated that BSN provided the highest financing, accounting for 40.2%. Furthermore, he added that this initiative has helped MSME companies and created 6,836 job opportunities for the people. In the latest development, the Micro Kasih scheme has also been introduced with a financing of 900 million ringgit.
Saya ingin mengulangi bahawa pinjaman adalah 5,000 hingga 50,000 kepada penjaja dan peniaga kecil, kepada usahawan belia, kepada usahawan wanita. Dan antara syarat yang sebagaimana Encik Zulkarnain pengarah BSN Negeri Johor sebut tadi ialah sudah ada perniagaan 6 bulan dan akaun bank juga 6 bulan.
The Micro Kasih scheme is divided into 3 categories, namely the Micro Kasih Youth Scheme, the Micro Kasih Hawkers and Small Traders Scheme, and the Micro Kasih Women Scheme. Coming up next, health white paper to reform health system in the country. Now, the people need to be given an understanding of the importance of the health white paper in reforming the country's healthcare system. The Health Ministry said this can be achieved through a comprehensive strategic communication plan.
Saya tahu memang rakyat ramai yang kurang mengetahui tentang perkara ini, tetapi yang paling penting dia dah diluluskan dan kita akan memang telah adalah strategic planning kita untuk kita communication strategic planning untuk kita sampaikan kepada rakyat supaya mereka faham bahawa kesihatan ini penting dan kenapa pentingnya ketakutan kesihatan.
Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said this today when met at the health facility project handover ceremony in Johor Bahru today. The project, amounting to 89.8 million ringgit, involves the construction of the pathology laboratory building at Hospital Sultanah Aminah. It also comprised the construction project of a health clinic and staff quarters in Taman Ungku Tun Aminah, as well as the construction project of a health clinic with Felda Palong Timur quarters in Segamat. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry and the Ministry of Defence, MINDEF, is expected to decide on the proposed location for the construction of Hospital Sultanah Aminah II, or HSA2, in 2 or 3 months. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said the discussions between the two ministries proceeded smoothly, and MINDEF also took note of the importance and need for the construction of HSA2. She said this when asked about the development of discussions with MINDEF regarding its land and the proposed Skudai site for the construction of HSA2. Previously, Johor State Health Committee Chairman Ling Tian Sun was reported to have said that the state government was waiting for the outcome of discussions between the two ministries regarding the issue of MINDEF's own land for the proposed HSA2.
A total of 177,858 housewives are covered by the Housewives Social Security Scheme, or SKSSR, as of 15 June. According to Human Resource Minister V. Sivakumar, a total of 254,617 ringgit in benefits had also been paid to insured housewives and families under the Social Safety Net program for the period starting from 1st December.
Jadi saya minta supaya semua suri rumah mengambil perhatian tentang perkara ini dan seboleh-bolehnya pihak suami membantu isteri untuk mencarum ataupun NGO-NGO, pemimpin-pemimpin tempatan, syarikat-syarikat swasta dan juga sesiapa sahaja yang ingin melakukan program CSR.
In another development, the minister said the government will look into the issue of allowance payments for students who undergo industrial training following a report on a public university student who expressed concern about surviving during the training this October. In his opinion, the matter should be given serious attention by the government, as this has also been raised in international labour organisation conferences, so that it is given due consideration around the world. He also said that he will give feedback regarding the matter soon after looking into the matter.
Koperasi Angkatan Tentera Malaysia Berhad, Koperasi Tentera, today announced a 7% dividend to its 156,156 members, involving a payment of 130.4 million ringgit for the year 2022. Deputy Defence Minister Adli Zahari said the dividend payment was much higher as compared to 89 million ringgit in 2021.
So bila kita dapat kelulusan daripada SKM, dan kita akan salurkan. Dan memanglah serat kita kalau boleh sebelum Hari Raya Aidiladha.
He said the financial performance of Koperasi Tentera also recorded a net income of 256 million ringgit for the year 2022, with profit before tax and zakat amounting to 154 million ringgit. He said the encouraging performance was the result of financing offered to small and medium enterprises, which was increasing. Meanwhile, Adli said that in the last 10 years, Koperasi Tentera had channeled contributions totaling 17.7 million ringgit, or an average of 1.7 million ringgit per year to its members. This has benefited a total of 42,706 members, covering the aspects of education, medication, and general donations, in addition to death benefit contribution amounting to 572,000 ringgit distributed to members in 2022.
The Malaysia Timber Expo 2023 is set to be a catalyst in attracting more investments into the timber industry. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof is optimistic that the Trade Expo, which begins today and runs until Tuesday, will serve as the best networking platform as it brings together manufacturers, importers and exporters under one roof.
Saya ingin meyakinkan pembeli dan pengunjung antarabangsa bahawa Malaysia merupakan sebuah negara yang mesra pelaburan. Pemacu ekonomi negara, terutamanya industri pembuatan, telah menjalani transformasi berdaya teknologi yang memulihkan perniagaan berkembang dan juga menjana aliran pendapatan baharu.
The text of his speech was delivered by Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Commodities, Dato' Siti Aminah Aching. The second edition of the Expo involves 120 exhibitors from 11 countries who will share current trends and market developments in the timber industry.
Yet to come, Philippine Coast Guard rescues 120 people as ferry catches fire. Stay with us.
Boleh saya bantu?
Hello, there's been a motorcycle accident here. Maybe an elephant ran it over?
Sir, there is fire accident at the address number 5 Jalan Tembika, Shah Alam.
PGO from FRT Shah Alam, there was no fire accident here, over.
MERS 999. Use it wisely.
Welcome back. All 120 people on board a ferry that caught fire at sea in central Philippines on Sunday have been rescued, according to the Coast Guard. The MV Esperanza Star, which was carrying 65 passengers and 55 officers and crew members, caught fire while sailing from Siquijor Island in the south to nearby Bohol Island.
A spokesperson said Coast Guard firefighters on board another vessel used a water cannon and declared the fire out by around 0200 GMT. The cause of the fire is still unknown. All 120 people on board were brought to the port city of Tagbilaran in Bohol province, and an investigation was underway. The Philippines, an archipelago of more than 7,600 islands, has a poor record for maritime safety, with vessels often overcrowded and many aging ships in use. In March, a ferry carrying about 250 people also caught fire in southern Philippines, leading to the deaths of more than 24 people, including a 6-month-old baby. In December 1987, the ferry Dona Paz sank after colliding with a fuel tanker, killing more than 4,300 people in the world's worst peacetime maritime disaster.
About 100 people have died in 3 days due to heat-related causes as parts of India reeled under soaring summer temperatures. Most deaths have been reported from the northern state of Uttar Pradesh, where 54 people have died since Thursday in one district alone. In the eastern state of Bihar, 44 people died in 24 hours, according to a report on the India Today website.
23 patients died on Thursday, 20 on Friday, and 11 on Saturday in Uttar Pradesh's Balia District Hospital, and 400 have been hospitalized due to heat-related problems. There's such a rush at the district hospital that patients are unable to get stretchers, and many attendants are carrying their patients to the emergency ward on their shoulders, according to an NDTV online report. The mercury touched 40 degrees Celsius in most regions of Uttar Pradesh on Sunday, with some districts recording temperatures above 44 degrees. Peak summer temperatures in some places, including Delhi, Rajasthan and Haryana, often reach mid-40 degrees Celsius in the months of May and June.
At least 11 people were killed and 20 were missing after a cyclone tore through southern Brazil. According to the State Branch of Protection and Civil Defense, 11 people died from the effects of the cyclone.
The government of Rio Grande do Sul state, which borders Argentina and Uruguay, said in a statement that 18 people are still missing in Cara and 2 in Tres Forquilhas. A total of 2,330 people were left with damaged houses and 602 were evacuated from areas at risk due to the passage of the cyclone between Thursday and Friday. Officials said state firefighters had rescued about 2,400 people in those past 2 days. Their main objective at this moment is to protect and save human lives, rescue people who are isolated, locate the missing, and support their families. Brazil has been hit by a series of deadly weather disasters in recent years, which experts say are being made worse by climate change. At least 65 people died in February when torrential rain triggered floods and landslides in the southeastern state of Sao Paulo.
The warring parties in Sudan have agreed to a 72-hour ceasefire to begin on Sunday, according to the United States and Saudi Arabia. Media outlets reported the ceasefire between Sudanese army and the rival Rapid Support Forces, RSF, brokered by the US and Saudi Arabia, kicks off at 6 a.m. local time, that is 0400 GMT, and end on Wednesday.
Conflict broke out unexpectedly in Sudan in mid-April after a long simmering power struggle between de facto President Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and Vice President Mohamed Hamdan Daglo. There have been numerous ceasefires since then, but these have been repeatedly broken. The two generals had originally seized power together in 2021. The U.S. Embassy in Khartoum says the parties agreed that during the ceasefire they will refrain from prohibited movements, attacks, use of military aircraft or drones, and will refrain from seeking military advantage during the ceasefire. According to UN figures, more than 2.2 million people have been displaced by the fighting. United Nations agencies on Friday said that almost 25 million people are in need of humanitarian aid in the country, and 4 million children and pregnant or nursing mothers are acutely malnourished.
And in sports, Azizul wins Kirin gold to prove he is Asia's track king. Stay with us. Azizul Hasni Awang sealed his legacy as the continent's most successful track cyclist after winning the Kirin final to complete a stunning double in the Asian Championships at the National Velodrome in Nilai today.
Japan's Shinji Nakano took the silver, while there was more joy for Malaysia as Muhammad Shah Firdaus Shahrom ended his extraordinary campaign in the Kirin with a much-deserved bronze. Azizul was flawless in the final as he got his tactical plan right to the dot in racing to his 12th Asian title, despite having to start from the position just behind the Derny. The last time Azizul won the Kirin event was at the Asian Meet in 2015 in Korat, Thailand. The 35-year-old, who was just recuperating from a corrective heart surgery a year ago, had claimed the sprint gold on Friday. It is only the second time that Azizul had bagged the individual sprint and Kirin double after his feat at the 2008 edition in Nara, Japan.
Spain and Croatia finish up their training preparations on Saturday on the eve of the UEFA Nations League final. Croatia, who finished second and third respectively at the last two World Cups, are looking for a first major title as they take on the Spanish in Rotterdam to decide the third edition of the Nations League.
Spain and Croatia train ahead of the Nations League final, a trophy that neither side have won. Spain last won silverware in 2012 at the European Championships and are competing in consecutive Nation League finals. Spain midfielder Rodri Hernandez hopes to restore his team's winning culture by beating Croatia on Sunday and winning the Nations League. Luis de la Fuente has the opportunity to secure a trophy in just his fourth game in charge of the national team. Croatia are appearing in their second major final, hoping to create history by winning their first ever trophy. The final may prove to be Luka Modric's last game for Croatia, with the 37-year-old yet to confirm his future plans. Croatia face 6 Euro 2024 qualifiers between September and November, with none scheduled for 2023. That balance could be key if Modric wants to lead his country at Euro 2024. Whatever happens in the game, the Nations League will have a new champion.
And in tennis, German Jan-Lennart Struff defeated Polish Hubert Hurkacz, the number 4 seed, 3-6, 6-3, 6-3 to reach the final of the Stuttgart Open. This will be Struff's third ATP Tour final. He has lost both his previous finals.
Struff and Hurkacz had never played each other on tour before, only in the Davis Cup in 2016 when the German won in 3 sets. The third seed will now take over Frances Tiafoe in the final, who he has never faced on grass before. In 2019, Struff lost to him 6-3, 6-4 on hard court in Antwerp. In 2020, Struff won in 5 sets at Roland Garros. The 33-year-old German won against Chinese Xi Tenzhang, American Tommy Paul, the number 5 seed, and Frenchman Richard Gasquet early in the tournament. Earlier, Tiafoe reached his first tour-level grass final after sending off Marton Fucsovic 6-3, 7-6. Tiafoe, who saved 6 set points in a second set tiebreak, secured his win in 1 hour and 37 minutes. The American defeated Czech Jiří Lehečka and Italian Lorenzo Musetti ahead of his victory against Fucsovic.
That's it from us this evening. And our top story, people's rights in opposition ruled Kelantan not denied. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow on TV2. Till then, I'm Brandon Paul. Have a fantastic week ahead. Malaysia Madani, Tekat Perpaduan, Penuhi Harapan.